Hello and welcome to the Long Ball Street. Today I'm joined by my co-host Matt.
Hi.
If you're watching on YouTube, we've only got like 40 minutes today, but if we get the opportunity, we're going to take your questions at the very end of the show. But we've got quite a lot to get through. We're going to be talking about hashtag and YouTube teams and their place in the real football world. Christmas Eve games, bankruptcy in football. So a lot of clubs are chasing the Premier League dream so hard that there was only been one that was promoted that did so in profit. There's also women in football, Ballon d'Or list, Iceland qualifying for the cup. There's lots of stuff. If we get through it all, we won't get through it all, but there's lots of stuff going on. We're going to talk about it. First off, Matt, you had a story for us this week, but you told it to me and I said that you're not allowed to say it.
I know, Flav censoring me. Can you believe that?
I would feel, I'm just not sure. It's incredible, but I'm not sure. We've also got at some point either today or tomorrow or next week, I'm trying to convince Junior to talk about his prostate exam. That's a belter.
That is a belter.
Yeah.
I would like to say that I do appreciate you looking out for me though. That's not. It makes me feel like there's a genuine warmth, like a friendship, a camaraderie.
Look, if your life blows up in flames, so does mine.
Okay.
So
fine, that's good. You alright, Ads?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
How are you doing, Ads?
Yeah, very well.
Good.
He's so handsome, innit? Look at him.
He is.
He's a beautiful. He don't even try.
Yeah.
Woke up like this. He did.
He did.
No filter.
Slaying. Hashtag and YouTube team. So you did a thing on your LinkedIn. If you're on LinkedIn, friend up Matt and check out his
Pillow cushion.
Where'd you get that? Did they send that to you? LinkedIn.
I'll tell you.
Did you buy it?
What?
Found it. If you're a fan of the kind of business chat that we sometimes have on the Long Ball Street, then go and check out. It's a kind of Matt World on YouTube, but also the LinkedIn content.
I've stopped. Well, I haven't uploaded as much on my YouTube, and I've been doing a lot of content, but on LinkedIn, I'm going to sort that out and round everything up. But yeah, there's some quite interesting stuff on there, I think. So I think that if you're a guy because a lot of the people that are listening to this podcast and that watch this podcast, they're aspiring to. A lot of them are young guys that are aspiring to become a creator or to follow their passions and to build a career path around the things that they enjoy, and a lot of that is obviously football. So I think that there's probably good value for them on there in that we talk to people about how to make a podcast or various elements of business. One of the guys you spoke to was the ones that set up Rebel FC. That's right.
And around Slash Football.
Yes, Will.
Will, yeah. And you were talking about the potential. What I found interesting about that discussion and that surrounds that is the potential for a team like Hashtag United, like Palmer's. These are people we've talked to on a regular basis, and we know how serious they are and confident and kind of business savvy. But are we? If you compare it to league football or amateur football, in terms of size and revenue, could they compete on that level? Do you think?
Yeah, I don't think quite yet, really. But I think that you've got leverage in a modern world is essentially your social media following and your engagement with that community. That there's no getting away from it. That matters.
Yeah.
And if you have that, if you have the likes, you have the subscribers, you have the following, then you're able to do things for brands. You're able to sell products. You're able to sell T-shirts. You're able to sell stuff. Look at the Sidemen. They're probably the biggest UK group, with obviously KSI and Road to Shore and people like that, all with like 10 to 20 million subs each.
Yeah.
Crazy, yeah. But with that amount of volume of audience and people that are on the daily watching their stuff, that gives them an opportunity to charge a lot of money for a mention for a brand or a sponsor or whatever. So if you think about it in those terms, and then you look at the football pyramid as it is now, so being a football club that's getting exposure, that's what they're selling when they put... what's your sponsor again? Spurs? What is it?
AIA.
Yeah. Like, it's weird, isn't it? This stuff doesn't even matter anymore.
No, you don't even
like,
see it.
Huddersfield Sport, I'm like, what? Who is it? It's fucking...
It's kind of like, like when you're using the internet and you don't see the ads, the display ads anymore.
It's because our filters are getting so tight now. We just block out all that stuff, you know, and young kids and young guys and even us. I'm not a young guy, but we live in this world and we're getting so good at filtering out this bullshit. Any advert we just switch off immediately. Anybody that's trying to sell us anything, we're just like, whoa, you know what I mean, just blocked.
Yeah.
It's just this filter that we have around us, and we only let stuff through that we give a shit about. But ultimately, that's what Man United, they play in these competitions, they're on this platform. That means that they've got this audience worldwide, which means that the value of the of that inventory, the front of their shirt, is worth something.
Yeah.
So if you think those are the principles of how media or businesses or sponsorship is traded, and you apply that to the likes of hashtag, Spencer's got a couple of million subs. He's got a big audience, and he's been carving out this beautiful narrative about him getting his mates together to play football, and it's a story that people are interested in. So with people being sorry, I've just seen something that I just need this. I've just got to close that for a minute. It's going to put me off. What the hell were we talking about? What were we doing here? All right, Hads, how you doing?
Well, I just think I wonder. It's actually two things. One, shirt sponsorships, sleeve sponsorships. How do they understand the impact of that sponsorship? Like what? Like it's not like a link, and they can see how many people click on it and how many sign-ups you get from that link. It's just a very ambiguous.
It's awareness, but it's association. So what you think is that around the world, Man United have got 333 million fans, and they're going to buy the shirt, and they're going to be passionate about the shirt. And if the brand's on the shirt, then it's on the asset, isn't it? It's on the most prized element. It's so to have the name there means an association. So that's why sponsorship works.
Yeah, it's
association. So it's
just
endorsement. Yeah. So it's kind of that's why it works in that world. But in that traditional media world, like we were just saying, that you block out all this stuff now. So the adverts don't get through. Fine, you might be sitting there watching. You might watch the match on Sky if you're not watching it on a legal stream. Adverts come on, you ain't watching that. Do you know what I mean? You're sitting here. This is where your attention is. This is where you're focused. So when you've actually got content creators like F2 Freestylers, like Spencer, like KSI, you know, like some of the channels that we own or that we roll with, when you've got all this attention here, the audience is watching that. They're choosing to watch that. They're not watching it because you've put football behind a paywall and you made them come to watch the match. Yeah. They're there because they give a shit about these people. They like the medium. It's speaking to them in language that appeals to them. So this is where attention exists at scale for young people. So that then gives hashtag a great earning potential. Now it's not quite on a par with these clubs yet because they're not in the same tournaments whereby the TV rights that you get from BT etc come through, but certainly they've got so many eyeballs and people give a shit about them that's valuable to people. So and actually if you were to look at the following, how many, like Huddersfield Town have got a Premier League club, right? Not for long, but they're a Premier League club, 100,000 Facebook likes or 100,000 Twitter followers. That's nothing. I own a couple of Instagram accounts that have got 5 times that, you know. So it's, if you look at football, fine, they're getting old money from that, the way that the world works with broadcast rights, etc.
Yeah.
But they don't have the social pull. There's less Huddersfield Town fans than there are hashtag United fans. Yeah, that's a fact.
Yeah,
you know.
I wonder if it's in their best interest to get involved in the football pyramid, though, in a kind of tangible way. Do they even need to?
No, I see it. You know, I don't think that they do need to get involved in the football pyramid. I think that this is I think Palmer's are looking to do that.
Right.
I think that's a route for them, and it's definitely a route for some people. And I think hashtag probably could do it. But I think that the real value is, you know, and I have expressed this to people, and I think it will happen. But and that is that I think a formulation of a league, a formulation of a YouTube creator league is massive, because you can you've got that audience there that's huge. You combine all them audiences, then it becomes massive, and then you can take that whole audience on a journey. So I think that's the most fascinating structure. And that's a way of creating value, because not only can you create value in terms of on the shirts, but you can then start to have a league that then you actually starting to then speak to TV companies, broadcasters, new era broadcasters like an Amazon or a Facebook, and be like, right, we're going to put our games live on your platform, and people pay for those rights.
So it becomes like a kind of franchise in its own right, or a league in its own right.
In its own right, yeah.
It's not.
And it's kind of mad to say that, right? Because I'm a football fan from back in the day, but who's to say that people can't and shouldn't do that? Because there's leagues all over the place. Just because that league gets famous and people care about it, then
yeah, I mean, you don't. It's a choice. You don't have to watch it if you don't want to. It doesn't
exactly.
make any difference to whether you watch football or not.
Exactly, but what is what the Sidemen did. They sold out the Valley in like 20 minutes or something like that, and filled it, which Charlton don't do. Hashtag game, I think they had about 35,000 at Wembley or something like that. I'm not sure what the numbers are. I've not looked, but I know that last year the Wembley Cup had about 250,000 concurrent views, which was more views than the Champions League got on YouTube. Now I know that game was available on TV as well, but it just goes to show you that there's a lot of people that care about it. So young kids now they're going to be asking their parents for hashtag kits for Christmas, and spend's going to be like that.
Yeah, for sure.
Just licking envelopes, sending them out. It's going to be a good Christmas. It's going to be a great Christmas over at the Spen and Seb household.
What do you think of games being played on Christmas Eve? Try that segue.
What do you think? It's very sweet. Look at Adam. Look at that. Adam's almost got the eyes emoji there.
That's why I get paid the big bucks. That's why you're eating mugshots for lunch.
Eating mugshots.
The irony is I ate a mugshot for lunch. Doesn't matter. Okay. What do I think about it? So the Football Supporters Federation are up in arms. They're saying it's a new low. I mean, it comes after many times where broadcasting has dictated when a game's played. You look at what Barcelona and the La Liga refused for them to move the game on the day of this vote for independence for Catalonia, and but they can move these games for TV companies because they're the paymasters essentially. The argument against this being a Christmas Eve fixture being a real thing is obviously that people want to be at home at Christmas. They don't want to be going to away games in another part of the country.
Sorry, because I sometimes often miss things. Is there fixtures on Christmas Eve?
Yeah. Not 100%, but
Huddersfield playing.
I don't know.
Oh.
It might well happen. Richard Scudamore, the Premier League chief, has had talks with the Football Supporters Federation, saying that
they're considering it.
But why?
It won't be after 4:00 kickoff, he said.
But it's Christmas Eve. I mean, imagine going up and down. Everyone's going home.
The thing is, it's weird, right? Because tradition for me was Christmas on Boxing Day. I've apart from when I was maybe in Peru once or maybe in Australia once, I've never missed a Boxing Day fixture.
There's nothing better going football on Boxing Day.
Wicked.
It's amazing. So what's the difference about doing Christmas
That's what I'm saying. Personally, I think I'd be kind of all right with it. Really, but just because normally you're at home, normally you're a bit bored, you kind of want to get out from the house if you've got there. But I can understand that it'd piss people off because actually, when else are you going to do your Christmas shopping?
I mean, there's that, but there's. I think I can't, and I may be missing the point, and maybe we'll speak to someone at the FSF who're big fans of what they do. But I can't see if people want to travel, and I can't see the difference really between Boxing Day and although Boxing Day is a national holiday, I guess. I don't know. I just feel like I don't see the issue in the same way that other people are. There's been a lot of anger. I know there's a symbolism again about how obviously footballing TV, screening things on TV are mucking up with people's.
Maybe it's more about that. Maybe it's just more about the reaction to the fact there's been several of these things whereby the kickoffs, because it was the different days, and then it was when they move it for like a Wembley game and they'll move the kickoff back, and like away fans can't get back, or not even away fans, sorry, it's cup final, and people have got to leave before the end of the game. So maybe the anger is almost latent because people have been pissed off about that stuff.
Yeah.
For me, again, I kind of think if you don't want to go, don't go.
Watch it on telly.
Watch it on telly. But I can understand why people get pissed off about that.
I mean, for clubs like Tottenham, for Liverpool, there is no chance that we would not sell our allocation for this game. So I don't know.
But the fact of the matter is, right, these clubs, they don't care. Premier League, they don't care about the fans that go to the games. They care about the people that they haven't got. That's what they care about. They care about the people around the world that they just want to get hooked on a certain team and to buy their stuff.
Stephen Dyer's saying some good stuff in the comments. He says, entirely designed for the international audience and another move away from the match day going fan. If it is happening, then they need to have some common sense about not doing crap like Man City playing away at Southampton and make the games as close as
derby,
they can do.
yeah, I mean, that'd be quite good.
So Man United and Liverpool is the one that's mooted.
Shit.
I mean,
Arsenal-Liverpool.
So Arsenal-Liverpool.
Yeah.
Sorry, I've got my phones right. I mean, that's a schlep. You know, that's a
Where's
3-hour
it
journey.
at Arsenal at Liverpool.
It's in North London.
Oh,
but
poor Chris and Paul.
well, they've got to do. They'll have to do Christmas Eve and Boxing Day in theory.
That's
and
tough.
their misses are going to be
They're not going to
fucking
like
spare.
that. They're not going to like that. There's 4 kids between them. It's my daughter's birthday on Christmas Day as well.
I remember.
That's
a good story. So I remember Matt. He's like on the run up to the birth, and you was like, let's just have Christmas Day.
Oh yeah.
Let's just have a lovely day together. And then
I was
Snapchat story
I'd worked hard, I'd worked really hard up until then. We moved house.
Yeah, you did.
It was a case of, and then, because the woman, and those that have had a baby will know this, but your missus, right, first trimester, they're a bit pissed off. Second trimester, which is third, they're all right. The third one, they start to get their circulation, they feel really uncomfortable. They're getting very irritable at that point. And Ty was like, I just want it out of me. And there's things that you can do to help. Curry, long walks.
Making love.
Sex as well. There are things that you can do that help. So Ty's like, I want this baby out of me. Like, let's get down to business. And I'm like, whoa. I'm like, well, let's not rush it. It's like, it's Christmas Eve.
Day.
It's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Let's just chill, please. Let me just have these 2 days off. And we fell out for a couple of days, and I knew at the point that the fallout was good, because if they're happy, then oxytocin flows throughout the body. This is what's going on from a hormonal point of view.
Yeah.
And if they feel comfortable and they've got oxytocin flowing through the body, which is given from love and stimulation and touch, then it hurries it up.
Wow.
So she was angry with me, and I'm just kind of like, I want to let this hang.
Yeah. Let's let this simmer.
Yeah, exactly. And she was really upset. And then I remember Christmas Eve, went out for dinner, and we met my folks who came to London with my sister. We met up, lovely day. I'm thinking she's enjoying herself a bit too much. We went out and had a walk. And obviously I love the Raiders. The Raiders were on TV on Christmas Eve, and I was like, amazing. Literally literally just went, just put on the Raider game, and she just like, a water broke. And it was just like that, and it's like, shut up.
Yeah.
And she's like, water broke. I'm like, does that mean it's definitely happening now? She's like,
because I have got this game to
watch.
watch.
It's like, hello. And yeah, the next thing, I had a kid.
One of the most beautiful children enter this world.
She is very beautiful.
She is incredible.
She's incredible.
What a lovely,
she's gorgeous, isn't she?
lovely young lady.
Thank you.
You've done well.
It's my special girl. There she is. Look at her.
Oh,
Isn't she just perfect?
look at that. She's stunning.
Can you see that, Ad?
Yeah, see
right.
that? There you
So-
go. What a beautiful girl.
Angel.
A mate of mine, kid, and I'm not comparing, all children are beautiful. She's just got a 3-year modelling contract.
Wow. Okay, so probably more beautiful than my kid.
No way.
Well,
There is no much such thing.
true,
I shouldn't have said that. I'm sorry.
How old? 3-year modelling.
I think I'm the godfather, but I'm not sure how old she is.
Oh my god, that's amazing.
15 months.
I mean, we could do with that money, so maybe I'll get a V out there.
Mate, get out there if you're interested. There's big market for cute
money.
babies. 60 quid an hour. They get paid.
60 quid an hour.
That's small change for you, isn't it?
I don't know about that.
But for me, it's
feels
fine.
like it's good though.
Yeah.
It's
3 hours. That's a night out.
Yeah, exactly.
So there's this big problem with Championship clubs chasing the Premier League. I wouldn't say Huddersfield did this because you had a small budget.
Because we had we were
no
just
money.
We're getting promoted.
Yeah,
it was like that. But yes, some of them. God.
Some clubs are chasing the Premier League dream. Only one club has entered the Premier League in the black since 2008, and that was Crystal Palace. Average losses in the promotion season were £300,000 a week. That's 2 Harry Kanes. A week. And 1 in 3 immediately relegated. 2 in 3.
300.
300k a week.
300k a week losses. So that's in a month 1.2. So that's about 15 million a year.
Yeah.
Shit.
And 1.3. That's good maths.
That's probably not correct, but
all you got to do is
ballpark,
assertive.
Fag packet.
One in 3 immediately relegated, and 2 in 3 go down within 3 years.
Wow.
So they're chasing this dream, and in the argument,
It's not a dream. I hate it.
Really?
It's not.
Is it one?
Don't go up. It's horrible.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
I want to go back. I mean, we are going to go back, but you remember last year, I was a bit unsure. I was a bit like, I'm not sure how I feel about this. It was whenever I sit and watch my team play, I want them to win. I wanted them to beat Sheff Wednesday. I wanted them to win at Wembley. Every game, I want them to win. Of course I do. But I'm not enjoying it. I don't enjoy it. I'm not enjoying it.
Mate, when he was 3-0 up against
Palace.
it's a fucking dream. It's a fuck. I've seen it.
Yeah,
I've seen you do it.
No, it was reality. It was
reality.
It's honestly like
So you're essentially. I mean, what are they chasing though? If you speak to a lot of fans, Adam's Brentford fan. He said the same thing.
Yeah.
You're not after Premier League football. You weren't after Premier League football.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people. There's a misconception, especially of big fans of big clubs in the Premier League, that it is a dream. And this is why wouldn't anyone want to be up there? But the fact is there's magic moments, regardless of where you are in this.
Yes, exactly.
The glory is everywhere.
Exactly.
It isn't reserved for the top 6.
No, it's not.
You know what I mean? And I'm not sure I would want to be a part of it really, unless
you were.
As it happens, my team's really good.
Yeah, good.
But I've been through moments of mediocrity, and I understand the Premier League isn't the be all and end all in football.
It's just shit.
And to chase it like some of these clubs are doing, it's such a dangerous thing.
They spend serious amounts of dough, like they really do, don't they?
But then you've got to think about the motives of the people that are taking over.
Well, that's what it comes down to. It's like, so what's the Roy Hodgson, Palace manager?
Yeah.
Are Crystal Palace hiring Roy Hodgson because they think he's the guy to get hold of that particular crop of players? Are they hiring him because he's this progressive manager that's that really understands the game as it is now and can attract players? Now, I honestly think that sometimes when they're hiring someone like him, a former England international manager, is because they're thinking about what it looks like for sponsors. They're thinking about what it looks like for the people that they want to come and buy the club off them.
Yeah,
they're thinking about these things rather like for corporate hospitality. Isn't it great? Former England manager, I just think that there's a lot of that in football, and it's like when I look at West Ham and you think about how they were acting, and you were just thinking, I remember them picking up the club for tuppence, I think like they did Birmingham back in the day, could be wrong, but I think they did, and looking to ultimately make cash. Most people that get involved in football clubs, they're not doing it because they love the game, they're not doing it because they feel like you do about Tottenham or I do about Town, although at Huddersfield we do have Dean Hoyle who actually does, so we're very lucky. But a lot of people that are getting in charge of football clubs, it's for other reasons. It is for ego, or it's actually to make a profit. Simple as that. It's to get into the Prem and then flog it to someone for a load of cash, because once you're in the Prem and you're getting that amount of cash, you're getting 200 million for the next 2 years, and if you stay up, it goes up exponentially or whatever with the rights. But if you're sitting there and going, well, we're definitely going to get 300 million over the next 2 or 3 years, then the value of the club goes up significantly, because those are guaranteed revenues, and then you're paying for a multiplier of those revenues and some of the other things that are involved in factoring or working out the price of a football club.
So you'd be able to sell for more than those revenues.
Yeah. Right. So at any business, what you it's not just what's happening now, but it's a multiple of when you're working out what something's worth. Yeah. Like different industries have got all different multiples.
Yeah.
So if you're a tech company, that's, for example, one of the biggest multiples right now, because technology is a much valued thing. If you've got data and really strong data, that's something that's more valuable. We were talking about Uber. So Uber's tech and it's data, and it's got revenue. So the multiples of that would mean that if someone was to come and buy that privately, they'd be spending, it might be 20x, so 20 times revenues or something like that.
So what I'm saying, Huddersfield come into the Premier League and they've got a guaranteed revenue of 300 million.
Yeah.
They could sell the club for more than 300 million.
Yeah.
Or plus, say, more than 300 million plus the staff. So
that kind of thing. I mean, obviously, if you're established in the Premier League, then it goes up a little bit more. Yeah. And I've never sold or bought a football club or been in a conversation about it. So this isn't fully, but this is how business tends to work. Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough. That's interesting. Women in football.
Yeah.
Like, if there was a female player good enough to get into Huddersfield's team, would it have a problem?
No.
Like a centre back.
I honestly, I really hate having conversations about race or gender in 2017 because for years it's just not been an issue for me. You know what I mean? I'm sorry, but women can play football. They can.
Some of them
would
they may.
Mate, Kelly Smith was who's one of my favourite ever female players. She was fucking amazing. Left foot like a wand. You know, great footballer, great vision, great feet. Played the game just the right way. Like, you can't knock on people like that.
You can't have a female player in men's football. I'm not saying you.
Yeah, well, it's like female fighting. I'm a fan of female fighting. Fan of female mixed martial artists. I just am. I don't think that, and I would actually have, although Mrs. would, I'd have no problem. I want V to go to learn how to fight and do definitely. Martial arts and stuff like that. I think that's a great thing, especially for self-defense. But you wouldn't put V in with a man. No, I don't want her fighting, doing rounds. With boys, but if a boy touches, I want her to be able to take that hand right off. Yeah, for sure. You definitely. Know what I mean? Snap it. So the same principle. But in the ring, that's a different thing. It is. Physical fighting is a one thing, but I think if you've got a technique to handle it in a men's game, I don't think the fact that you haven't got a willy shouldn't stop you from. No, if your technique and you've got the strength, then I think that you should be able to. I wonder if but they're never going to let that happen. Why? So when we had one more game, I mean, look, the FA rules are. Archaic, is that the word? Yeah. When we had one more game at Wembley, we wanted, and Righty wanted, to have women play. Because it's just us having they wouldn't allow it. You're not allowed to have a game at Wembley, the home of football, with a mixed game after the age of 11. I think these are the rules. That is mad. They won't sanction a game. You know, but the thing is, you do understand, right, that the average man is probably stronger than the average woman. That doesn't mean that a woman can't be stronger than a man. No, that's true. You know, like, or more skilled. Certainly, any UFC fighter would mash up any guy off the street, and probably any boxer, a female fighter would mash up Floyd Mayweather on the street because they just know all this stuff that he doesn't know. There's a female boxer at the moment called Katie Young? What's she called? Katie Taylor. Katie Taylor. Fucking amazing fighter. I love Katie Taylor. She would smash up any man I know. Easily. Her feet, her movement, she is a skilled boxer. She is brilliant. Yeah, she is brilliant. And she would beat men in the ring. Like, not even like men boxers. She'd probably beat some. You know, she probably wouldn't score a knockout, but her technique's better than most male boxers. Yeah. You know, she's incredible. She's a great fighter. But I think, like, if you have someone who's as good as she is, but in footballing terms, there's no reason why they shouldn't play the league. I actually quite like to see it. Spoke to some of the lads in the office. They're like, no place for women. No, they won't. I'm joking. They won't. I was joking about. But it is. Look, it's still a world where people are stupid, unfortunately, and people are. Look down on these things, but I, for one, certainly don't. And I will be raising my daughter under completely of the belief that she can do anything in this world if she wants to do it, and she pursues her passion, and she can become anything she wants to be. You know, the best thing my mum ever said to me was that just do what makes you happy. Yeah, it's true. What makes you happy doesn't hurt anyone. Yeah, and that's why I'm here, sitting next to you. And I'm very happy. This is 11 players who were not nominated for the 2017 Ballon d'Or. Goalkeeper is Navas, Azpilicueta and Chiellini in centre back, Sandro left back, Carvalho on the right, Casemiro, Thiago in midfield, Lemar, Ericsson and Alexis forwards, and then up top Higuain. That's some team. It's all right. Do you want to win the league? Would that win the league? Probably in England. I think it'd give it a good go. Yeah, it might do. I don't know, really. I'll be honest, I don't know half of these players. Just to throw back to the time when you used to watch football. Yeah. Ballon d'Or 2002. Yeah. The real Ronaldo won it. I love the real Ronaldo. Yeah. So much. Roberto Carlos, left back. Yeah. Number 2. Yeah. Oliver Kahn, goalkeeper, number 3. So was that the period of time, 2002? Is that when he got that goal against England, the free kick, the left one? I think that might have been that kind of era. It feels about that time. Yeah. So you got Ronaldo, Roberto Carlos as a left back, Oliver Kahn as a goalkeeper. And these were all above the following 6 players: Zidane, Ballack,
Thierry Henry, Raul, Rivaldo, Basturk, and Del Piero.
There's some amazing players there. I mean, I'm not. Who's if you could? Okay, so if you could have had
one of those players,
other
than Ronaldo, obviously, Ronaldo is incredible. I'd probably, I mean, Zidane.
Yeah,
but all of them.
My second.
Henry would,
I used to love Del Piero. Raul was cool, but and Ballon was all right. Like, he was a great player, but he wasn't my.
He's not the most exciting in that team. Oliver Kahn was an absolute nutcase, but a great goalkeeper.
He was, but Zidane, mate. Zidane was the guy.
Did you hear that Iceland qualified for the World Cup?
That's right. Do you know we worked with Iceland on the Euros, didn't we? So we were getting
we win an award for the campaign that we did with them?
We won 8 awards.
8 awards. Count them up.
Count them up, add them up. So we did all kinds of cool stuff for that, and hopefully we'll work with them again. Actually, we should drop them a line. Good shout.
Can I tell you some stuff about Iceland?
Of course.
There's only 330,000 people in Iceland.
Wow.
That includes women who have just made established they can't play the game.
Yeah.
Children, I mean, they could, but they'd be shit. They're too small.
Yeah.
And old people, equally shit. So they've just, I don't know how many men can play the game.
Yeah.
But that.
So what do you reckon it is like? So let's say half and half. So that's 120. No, what did you say?
330,000.
All right. So
you're talking about men from the age of 18 to 33.
So you probably from a pool of about 70,000.
That sounds right.
70,000 people, maybe.
70,000 people, and
they're eligible. And they've A, qualified, and B, they knocked England out of the last tournament.
Yes, they did.
God, man.
And do you know, not only have they qualified, they won their group. And this group had the Ukraine and Croatia in it.
That's nothing. Like, they're all right sometimes, but they're up and down. Iceland are a team, though, aren't they? They showed that. A good team beats a team of individuals.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Well, if you think Man United's capacity is bigger than the pool of players that they have,
that puts it into perspective. It's almost like a reality show, isn't it? Right, everyone comes to the stadium, and from here we'll pick a team, and that team can go on and play in the World Cup against Ukraine and Croatia, and they won.
They have 850 coaches, UEFA A and B license, to their 22,000 registered players.
Why are they? So
1 to 15.
Why are England shit?
Why are England
like,
shit?
we don't actually know, do we?
Do you know what? Actually, I can tell you why Iceland are not shit and England are shit.
Yeah.
Iceland, and I can say the same for Syria, the same principle. And I mentioned it on Breakfast with Ball Street, this which is starting on YouTube next week. If you go over to the main YouTube page every Monday 10 a.m. Breakfast with Ball Street YouTube stream live on YouTube and Facebook. This morning
you're gonna have to get in for 10 a.m.
We'll talk about that.
How are you gonna do it? You're going to do it from the
tube. Luckily it's Sam.
Yeah.
And me mainly. Anyway, look, it's Iceland have come out of some significant turmoil.
Yeah.
You know, they were kind of ejected from the Euro, and their banks had their banks fell apart. They were humiliated, and they had to rebound on their own. And together, they had to rebuild their country. And the pride and vision of how they're seen by other people in the EU. They had to rebuild all of that. And actually, they probably thought, we can fucking do this on our own. And that same mentality has led them to have a football team that's far greater than the sum of its parts. Same with Syria. When you come out of that turmoil, there's nothing more that bonds you together than surviving something horrible.
Yeah, that's true. Someone was explaining to me, and I'll be honest, this conversation, I've not checked it out, but they were explaining that, because you know there's all these, people can create weather.
Yeah.
Have you seen that stuff?
Yes.
Where people are making rain clouds and stuff like that. Apparently, like, there's some heat map around ice, and there's almost like they reckon that Iceland are doing it because there's just this kind of fixed circle of heat, which is really unusual around Iceland or something.
Really?
So I don't know. Yeah, I need to dig into it, but that's what someone was giving me some conspiracy theory.
I bet you know someone who's been to Reykjavik recently.
Have you been to Reykjavik? You hinted.
Well, I know some. I know a few people. So there's people around me going, I'm going to Reykjavik, or I have been. But 2 of my brothers have been to Reykjavik in the last year.
It's great for the Northern Lights, isn't it?
Yeah, there's all that for sure.
I went 3 years ago.
I bet he did slaying. I bet he was just met some girl at a train station
because there's hardly anyone there.
Next thing.
Just
hot spring, slaying it in the hot spring.
Icelandic chicks, they're knocked all over the place.
Volcanoes just erupting like that.
Incredible scenes. And they're like, "Wow, you heard this guy Adam just turned up. Go and talk to him. He'll slay you."
El Volcano.
Volcano. That's what they call him. Adam the Volcano.
The eruption.
That's the last time I say anything.
The eruption.
The eruption. So Iceland have done incredible things, and I think a lot of people have a lot to learn from Iceland. From Iceland in every way.
Good chicken nuggets.
And they're beautiful, the men and the women. Dele Alli emerges as a target for Barcelona ahead of Coutinho.
Do you think that Dele Alli wants to go? Do you think, are you getting that vibe from him?
Something's up. Yeah, is all I would say. I don't.
Well, just from his body language and stuff like
that. I feel like there is some issues there with him. I don't know where it's come from. It was the first time I noticed it was when we scored the equaliser. No, we went up against Burnley at Wembley, and his celebration wasn't what it used to be. The joy wasn't in his face, and that could be that he's having some personal issues. It might not be, but I think that if Barcelona, out of the two players, are more complete at the moment. Yeah. Coutinho is probably the safer bet. Dele Alli has so much potential though that it might be worth them punting on him. Either way, they're going to cost Barcelona 150 million probably to get him. Wow! But there are some limitations currently with his game.
Okay,
he's not the same player as he was last year. Harry Kane's trademarked his own name.
Yeah, why wouldn't he?
Don't know. Is this logic?
So I think that
how does a player make money off their name?
Well, it's like any trademark is you want to protect it so that if people use it in areas that you've designated that you want to use it and trademarked it, that people then can't use your name or your image in ways to make money. It just kind of solidifies its position ultimately.
So what's an example of that? Would that be like if you wanted a apparel range or a pair of football boots more likely?
And all kind of ways, I guess, that he could do it. Look, I'm not a trademark lawyer and I'm not big on trademark. We've got a couple of trademarks for sure, and you need to have them. But I'm not sure that's completely uncommon, is it?
No, it's not. I just thought, why now? Like, why not?
Well, probably just because he must be getting fairly aware of his value, and the people around him must be fairly aware of his value, and if he's going, the thing is with footballers is, as much as we talk about the cash that they're on and stuff like that, they're only inches away from a career-ending injury. So many people it's happened to young. So it's a short shelf life. So I guess that whilst he's got this leverage, is to look at different ways to use that name to create value for him and his family down the line. So I'm sure that there's a plan going on there, and it's smart to do that rather than to just rely on those two or three things. I think that if you're a young person now, you've got great opportunities, but if you're a young person that's got a real skill that gives you I don't want to say the word fame, but it's more about leverage, like we were talking about with hashtag and F2 and people like that. They've got these huge audiences. You can do stuff with that. That's a great start, to have that. And Harry Kane's got that in that way, so he should be building infrastructure to support a number of businesses which may or may not have anything to do with football. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is your chance to get some questions in. We're coming to the end of the podcast now, so if you're watching live on YouTube, send your questions in. Adam will collect a couple and then chuck them at us if that's all right, Ad. Mm-hmm. Last question then. What's it like supporting a team that doesn't have Harry Kane? Matt.
Well, it's not fun when you're giving him 3 one-on-ones after like 6 minutes or something like that. Yeah. It's not fun.
I like to.
But look. The thing is, we give Harry Kane a big round of applause because he's quality. I like Harry Kane. I think he's a brilliant striker. I just love it. Passes it into the net. Yeah. Just literally. Picks his spot.
15 goals now this season, and we're in. Where are we? In the beginning of October.
That's mad.
15 goals. He's got another 7 months.
Yeah, well, hopefully he stays fit, because it feels like Spurs' season is kind of tied to him. Yeah. So if he gets a knock or he's out, and he has had a couple of those, hasn't he, where he's then missed a few games. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, you've got that. Is it what's he called again? Laurent. What's the guy that you got from Swansea?
Llorente.
Llorente. Yeah. you've got him as backup. Can he come in and have that kind of effect? Because if Harry Kane's firing, then you boys are fine. But if he's not, then I don't know.
This discrimination has been on the rise for its 5th straight year, according to Kick It Out. And while I'm not sure what we can say about that,
Harry Kane's great. Discrimination is on the rise for his 5th straight year. Like, how do you qualify? How do you count that?
I mean, well, it'll be accusations or reports or arrests for that kind of stuff. Right. So we're thinking of putting together a little film on a mini doc on Ball Street's main page very soon about that, because I think the misconception is that it was kind of a problem of old, and maybe it's a conversation we need to have. I kind of feel that something
goes with that, and I don't know if I obviously don't want to doubt that discrimination happens in a number of ways. I think we all know it does, but like equally there's things that get socialised much easier now. So a lot of things maybe didn't come out because we lived in a world where I think it was easier to conceal and for things to be buried and things to be denied. Whereas now, because the way that social media works is that things can rise to the surface very quickly. So maybe discrimination hasn't gone up, maybe it stayed the same, but it's easy for that to be reported and get to become a thing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
I don't know.
With that,
because that was always my theory with, it's like all these people that talk about whether it's terror attacks, whether it's this horrible thing that's happened in some part of the world, and they are terrible things, but these things used to happen before. It's just that maybe people weren't watching the news, but they everything just gets amplified on social media so quickly. So I think sometimes it feels like things are worse, or that some things are, but I don't know if they are, or whether it's just that we're in a world where things get amplified easier. Do you know what I mean? If that makes sense.
Okay, so we'll have one.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see what they mean by that.
Yeah, well, we're going to figure it out. We have one question from Carl Stanton. Then we've got to go. What does Matt think about Huddersfield closing their youth academy? I don't think the Premier League should be allowed to do that. Yeah,
I was shocked about that, really. And I'll be honest, I've not delved into it. It's been something that's been spoken about a lot on some of the forums, but the club came out and suggested that we weren't. It just looked like we were, but clearly we have.
So there's no under 20s, no under 17s.
Yeah, like I don't fully understand what's gone on. Like I don't, but it's disappointing. But I know that we've had nothing that's really come through of late and made it into the first team. I mean, go on.
Brentford have done the same.
Right.
They closed our academy. It's because it costs a lot of money to run an academy. For quite often, you get nothing back. So you're not bringing players through. You're spending like tens of millions a year on running an academy, and you're getting nothing back for it. So we've now got an under 23 team who are all like 17 upwards, and they go around playing teams all around Europe.
Yeah.
Not in any particular league, just for experience and competition.
It's like a development squad.
Yeah, since we've done that, we've had 5 players come through to our first team.
That's interesting. Because as well, you'd always see that thing, wouldn't you, where like top teams would pluck players from other teams' academies, which is really cold when you think about it, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It is cold.
Yeah, it's kind of the nature.
Take that kid and then we've like Chelsea. Oh, now we've got Izzy Brown. And,
just drop him
and then they make him worth money. What's going on? There's someone like just there, isn't there? Who's that?
Creeping around like a fucking pervert.
It's Craig.
Who is it?
Craig.
Lesser spotted
Craig, we've finished. If you want to come on and just sit down for 5.
No. Are you sure you don't want to sit down and have a chat with us? That wouldn't be weird. So it feels wrong, but I don't feel qualified to fully comment on that stuff because I've not investigated it. I've just been trying to survive having a kid and running a mad business, to be honest with you. So. Just so you know, Spurs have insist, or we've got a business model that means you have to make £400,000 on every player, on average, that we work with. All right, thank you everyone for joining us once again. Remember to, if you've only caught the end of this and you don't want to watch it back, we can download the podcast that you can listen to on the move. On Friday we have the One for the Weekend, which is on the main Ball Street channel. And there's other bits and pieces coming up, so keep your eyes peeled. Lots of changes on Ball Street content in the next few weeks. It's going to be very exciting.
I mean, look, we don't even feel like we've got started yet. Thanks to everyone that has supported us and has watched us. We've ultimately always been a business that's tried to make the best of it, but we've had to a lot of people that you've watched and a lot of people that are in this space, it's either one guy that's made it big, or it's businesses that have deployed existing infrastructure and big budgets against making a football channel for you. We've not done that. We've actually tried to make content whilst finding money elsewhere just to continue to support it and to wipe its own face, because cameras, sending people around, ambitious shoots cost money, but we're doing okay. And we've still got plans for the future, and one day we hope to make this something that we and you are all proud of. And we don't feel we've got there yet, but one day we hope we will.
Yeah, and even if we fail, we've got that man slay a little.
Well, no, we haven't helped him.
He helped himself.
Yeah,
born that way.
He slays. He slays.
Is slay the right word? For slay feels a little bit aggressive.
I quite like the eruptor because you can imagine.
Yeah.
You can
causing tremors.
You can imagine
orgasms for
like
fun.
like almost people like, what the fuck is that?
What is that?
And then they're just like,
it's a full-bodied orgasm
vibration
delivered.
See you later. Bye.